Geek Culture 101, your home for all things geek, where passion drives us every day of the week. From gaming quests to tech's next best, we're diving deep into a geek's best.
Welcome back to Geek Culture 101, your home for all things geek. Well, we are only a few days past the launch of the Switch 2. Well, as I stated previously, I'm unable to purchase one at this time. I've got to admit, I am so excited about this launch. I haven't been truly this excited about a new console since the release of probably the PS2. Even the PS5, which I thought looked amazing at the time, didn't have me quite as eager or enthusiastic as the Switch 2 does. Many have asked me why that is, so I thought I'd do a little video to kind of address it. I want to examine why I feel this way and why I believe that this may very well go down as one of the most influential pieces of hardware in gaming. So grab that magical mushroom and let's power up. First, we must look at my history with Nintendo and gaming in general. Some of my earliest memories are playing video games, starting with the Atari 2600. However, I still vividly remember when my brother got a Nintendo Entertainment System. It was, I believe, 1989. Went to Kmart and he spent all he had saved. I'll never forget how futuristic that NES box looked. However, I didn't fully grasp how different it was going to be from Atari. But as soon as we got it home and hooked up, I think we all realized it was something special. It was like nothing we had seen previously, between the complex magical world of Super Mario Bros. Or using the zapper on the Duck Hunt game, which seemed just so interactive. However, it wouldn't be until another game sometime later that would fully cement my lifelong love for gaming. A game which still to this day ranks among my favorites. What is that game? Well, it's The Legend of Zelda. It seems so incredible with its gold cartridge, unique world, secrets, adventure, and overall tone that was just so captivating. To this day, the Zelda franchise is one of the greatest. It's also why I have to have the next Nintendo console always. I feel it pulls me in, gives me that feeling of being a simple person meant for a destiny far bigger than imagination. But back then, what probably helped it be so profound was that I was having a lot of medical problems and had multiple surgeries. And it was one of those games the hospital had available to play or that had such a massive world to explore by 80s and 90s standards. So it became an escape for me. As the years passed, The Legend of Zelda remained a huge draw. Other games such as Mario, Star Fox, and a few other first-party titles made me always need to have that next Nintendo console. However, with the release of the PlayStation and later the PlayStation 2, I found other games that would give me a deep experience. But still, Nintendo has always had a wow factor like no one else. With games like Metroid, Mario, Zelda, and Mario Kart, especially Mario Kart 64, Star Fox, and so many others, they just captured the hearts and childhood of all of us with a sense of wonder like no other. They often are known for being less mature from a visual standpoint, leaning towards a cartoon look or less gore. But gameplay-wise, they remain number one. So fast forward to 2019, when I first played a Nintendo Switch. Having been irritated by the Wii's motion controls and hearing so many negative things about the Wii U, which happened to be the only console that I never bothered to purchase, I was a little hesitant. But loving the fact that the Switch was a hybrid portable console, I knew I could always utilize it while in the hospital and so forth. So I bought a used Switch off eBay At first, I thought, this is kind of cool. Played Mario Odyssey and thought it was good, but seemed a bit short. Then I got to Zelda Breath of the Wild. It seemed, well, strange to me. Like everything I had known a Zelda game to be had changed, which is ironic since it's one of my favorite Zelda games now, but I was disappointed, frustrated, and sad. There also wasn't a huge selection of games that caught my interest at the time. Really, you couldn't find a whole lot other than, games on other consoles that had far superior graphics. So I ended up selling my Switch, and well, about a week after, a huge list of exclusive games were announced. I began to regret selling it, but times were tight, so I couldn't change it. Well, then, COVID hit, and I even more so wanted an escape. So when this first stimulus arrived, I decided to get a Switch again. Due to limited availability, I ended up getting a Switch Lite, and well, almost instantly regretted not waiting and getting the full size console. But I found more and more games that I love, plus the portable nature of it made sure I could have something wherever I needed it. Little by little, it became one of my favorite video game consoles of all time. But I eventually sold my Lite and got a Switch OLED, which has been incredible. I even gone back and replayed Breath of the Wild with a newfound understanding and perspective. Then I fell in love with it. And of course, shortly after, Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I was completely blown away. Tears of the Kingdom is such a good game. I know some people like Breath of the Wild better, but to me, Tears of the Kingdom took everything that I loved about Breath of the Wild and refined it to a whole nother level and added so much more. However, as PlayStation and Xbox released their newest version, the Switch began to slowly lose the impact it had. Sure, still has amazing games and is far more practical, but graphically and performance wise, it just felt so far behind. So when rumors began becoming more prominent for a Switch Pro or a Switch 2, I noticed and began following every bit of news, wanting the extra power, more refinement, and of course, looking forward to more from my favorite game franchises. Then add in that here on my YouTube channel, some of the content that has done the very best is Switch 2 related. But that aside, it was the first official announcement confirming the rumors that truly grabbed me. It took almost everything I loved about the original Switch and powered it up to a whole nother level. It even offers graphical and performance upgrades to my favorite Switch games, not to mention seemingly fixing some of the few flaws of the Switch. So I began planning, dreaming of the new console. Then I lost my job unexpectedly. So my plans, well, they got delayed. Yet, somehow, this has made me almost want it even more. I guess the natural desire for what you can't have is always playing a factor in our psyche. Also, knowing the original Switch has gone on to be one of the best selling consoles of all time shows Nintendo really found the perfect mix of innovation and practicality and truly refined it all. So while I'm not sure when I'll be able to finally make my dream come true, I'm glad to have a goal, something to dream of, and something to strive for. I will always keep covering all related news and content for all those fellow fanboys out there. But for right now, we're just gonna keep living the dream. So I guess, well, I've rambled long enough. I hope you enjoyed this listening. But please remember, hit the like and subscribe buttons. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by August. So help me make that possible. Only you can do that. And remember, if you want more geek content, you gotta subscribe, right? And hit that notification bell. But until next time, stay geeky, my friends. Stay geeky.